Hi guys, welcome back to Dad's War Room. Today we're building the Universal Carrier. As you can see, I've got some of the bits already laid out, prepped and ready to go. We're just lining up the first side there to go on. The Universal Carrier is the most produced armoured fighting vehicle ever, with 113,000 of them being made. Here I'm just applying a bit of Tamiya extra thin fast drying cement to the side to get it to stick down. Making sure it's lined up. We're on to the second side. And glue that down. So look, good, well produced model, I'd say. It's got good, fits together well. Very little clean up, taking it off the sprue. Very few mold lines and things like that. It's the second one I've built, and I've got to say it's an enjoyable, quick build. So here we're just fitting in the firewall. Make sure that's snug in. Put a bit of glue on that. The Universal Carrier was designed to replace several specialised carriers, like the machine gun carrier, the Bren gun, the Scout and the Cavalry, with one single adaptable model. It served in pretty much every role imaginable. It was an infantry mobility vehicle, a weapons platform, a reconnaissance vehicle, even an artillery tractor. Some of them was ambulances, and they even had command posts, Universal Carriers. And as you can see here, I'm just replacing in the back of the firewall. And put a bit of glue down there. The British Airborne even adapted these to use in some of their most well-known operations, like Operation Market Garden, Operation Varsity, proving very useful despite the lack of armour and the open top. But there was transported on large gliders, the Hamilcar gliders. But for them to do this, they had to remove external tool kits, the mirrors, headlights, the side skirts, anything that would catch going into the glider. So if I'm to make this into an airborne one, there'll be a fair few things I'll need to take back off it, like the spare wheel and that, because all them was removed. The rear lower armour to shorten it, because you could fit two of these in a Hamilcar glider. There you go, I'm just attaching the back plate. Making sure it's on. Just a little touch up there, bit of butt in there. But like I said, you don't have to be highly skilled to put one of these together. It goes together pretty simple. You get two variations, Mark 1 and the Mark 2. Here I'm just putting the glue in to put the tracks on. Making sure I got the tracks the right way. Another fun thing that I found interesting about these was the Germans even liked him. After they managed to push the British Expeditionary Force out of Dunkirk, they found themselves with nearly 1,000 of these universal carriers and put them to good use, placing anti-tank guns on them, anti-aircraft, or using them like we did as troop carriers and so on and so forth. So I think it's fair to say that it really is a universal vehicle. I'm just getting a second track on there now. I think it takes more time waiting for the glue to dry, even though it's fast drying, than it does all else. This is a spare wheel that I'm just sanding down, getting the nubbins off. And these are the next few bits that'll be going in. This is the main engine cover, runs down the middle. They invented another model of this called the praying mantis, which could approach, say, like a wall, and then it'd raise itself up, so the machine gun could peer over the wall while the crew was laid down inside, laying down fire still under cover. But due to a lot of complications, they didn't make many of them ones. And this is just the other bits getting their little sprue snips sanded down, taken off. The bit that you see me sanding down now is the actual front plate to the carrier. This will be the Bren gun that sticks out of the front hull, front gun part. There's that going in. Putting a little touch of glue down the side just to make sure it don't move. Sure it's nice and secure, and then putting the top plate on. This is all the detail on it, like the rivets and the engine cover, the grill for the engine cover, sorry. And if you've made it this far in the video, give me a like, subscribe, share, tell your friends. Or if you built one of these, how did you build it? Have you built it as an airborne one? What regiment are you using it for? I'm just going to place on the front of the carrier here because I haven't decided which way I'm going to go with it. So if I go airborne, obviously I'd need to paint the drivers in the Denison smocks and put on a airborne head. And I don't fancy painting the Denison smock while he's sat in the cab. So I'm going to leave them out, spray it all, put it all in afterwards. And if you haven't built one and you are going to build one, I would advise that you don't attach the front until you've painted it on the inside, because from what I've heard it's a bit tricky. Unless you like to challenge yourself. But as you can see here, I'm putting the spare wheel on the front, which is something that'll have to come off if it's an airborne version. And I'm just going to poke the Bren gun through its port. This is a fun little fiddler bit to do. So we'll get that bit stuck in. Hold it in place and get that dry. But not only to mention all the other stuff about the Bren Carrier, what it did, it also helped inspire the early Land Rover. And who doesn't love a Land Rover? Because I know I do. So we've got that glued on there. Make sure it looks right, make sure it's pointing in the right direction. Oh, knock it in the right direction if not. There we go. So what we've got here is a tub of bits for the Mark 1, Mark 2 variant. We're just having a look here to see whether I want to put this on, which makes it into the Mark 1. But not only can I not figure out how it goes on, I don't like the look of it with that on. I prefer the look of the big toolbox. So I decided to go with the big toolbox. Stick that down there. The only thing about this is you've got to rest it on two little narrow bits. It likes to wobble off one or the other. Make sure that's sat right, otherwise it looks silly. It's got to be sat right. So yeah, happy with the way that looks, sat on the back of there. Looks pretty square. So now we're going to start attaching the other little bits and bobs to it. Now we're going to attach the side skirts, front mudguards. Again, another thing I'll have to take off if I decide to go down the airborne route with this. Get that lined up. It looks fairly good. So now we've dry fitted it, we'll get to glue it. Make sure it's on right. If you're not sure about something, I always do a dry fit. Make sure it looks right. You don't want to have to be peeling glue off. Yep, so get a bit more glue in there to make sure it's secure. Get the other one. Knock the other one off. Fast drying this. Quick drying. So yeah, put the other side skirt on. Sorry about the camera angle, but yeah, I am putting a bit of glue on the side skirt there. We'll get that on, so yep. So now we've got that down, we'll start with the other bits. So now we're going to put on the stem for the machine gun, the holder. Get rid of that bit of hair. It's got a little chamfer on the bottom of that, so it sort of like tilts backwards a bit. And get these side steps on at the back now. Again, sorry for the camera. But if you've made it this far into the video, then I think you've got past me with lack of camera skills, don't you? There goes the front plate. And get that other side step on, and that's both of them on. But overall, building this, I'd say it took me longer to stop and start recording and edit this video, do the voiceover, than it did to actually make the model. So here we're going to get the headlight, stick that on. It's a bit fiddly, that again is on a chamfered angle and has to go on right. Here was placing on the Bren gun, the second Bren gun, which will cost you extra points to take into a game. This is coming to the end of the video. I'd just like to thank you all for sticking it out this far if you did, and I'll see you next time.